Welcome to TARTLEcast with your hosts Alexander McCaig and Jason Rigby, where humanity steps into the future and source data defines the path.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of TARTLEcast. You're here with your host, Alexander McCaig, and my co-host,
Jason Rigby.
And you're also the marketing advisor, too, right?
Yes. Is this a disclaimer?
Yeah. We got a studio upgrade here.
Yes. I don't know if they can see behind us or not, wherever we may be at.
Yeah. This whole background, because we got the green screen.
Yes. Yeah. So now we can have it. We could be flying data packets.
We'll have data packets just zipping back and forth.
Yeah, it'll be awesome.
No, I like that a lot better. But what we want to do is we want to give a little update, right? Because we're in the spirit of transparency.
Wait, I think TARTLE is transparency.
Wait, it's full transparency.
It's the definition.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. That's really poetic of you.
Well, I mean, for people that don't understand the word TARTLE,
yeah,
give a definition of that.
So TARTLE. So you ever go to introduce two people together, right? So you go bring like a girlfriend or a boyfriend. I don't know which way you swing, but and you for that brief awkward moment when you've forgotten the other person's name in the introduction, you know when you're hoping they're going to say their name,
right? That
awkward pause between the two people, the forgotten name, that's called a TARTLE.
Oh,
so it's these two parties that come together that don't know each other's names, and it's that brief pause, that interaction. That's what we're doing in TARTLE, right?
So it's like a CK1 unisex. That's how we swing. Is that so?
No one's going on the marketplace now.
no one signing up.
But
so you're basically taking two parties that have never met each other
ever,
and you are bringing them together
so that they can share data amongst each other.
And how does that benefit both to the good?
I'm glad you asked, because the people that are looking to use that data, they can get it directly from the individual, the source, the people that create it. And then having it from there, you have the most up-to-date, concurrent, truthful information about that individual, who they are, how they act, what they do.
Right.
And then from that, they can conduct their research or their studies or their polling or their surveys or whatever statistical thing they might be going through to better understand how people operate, right? Better understand the nature of who we are.
Right.
Using that information to make better business decisions, whatever it might be. And then for the person who's giving that data up, they get full ownership of that information. They control it. Soup to nuts. And then from that, when they want to go sell it, they can choose when they want to give it away, and they can choose how much they want to give it away for and for how long. They can do it once, or they can do it for a week, a year, 5 years, 10 years. It doesn't matter. And that's the most important part. So someone's receiving financial opportunity. They're receiving empowerment, sovereignty over their information and their data. And the other side is finally getting access to a source of information that gives them the ability to make decisions properly without excuses, because now you know exactly what people are thinking, doing, or acting, and you're getting it directly from them. There's no guesswork anymore.
And on the business side of things, when we look at TARTLE here recently in Santa Fe, because we're in Santa Fe, New Mexico, you just had a meeting.
I did have a meeting. Yeah,
it was brought together
Friday. The full board. That's right. A lot of food.
It's a ton of food.
A lot of leftovers.
Your girlfriend said there was a bunch left over.
Way too much hummus for one individual.
A lot of hummus, yeah, because you and your girlfriend are vegan.
Yeah, we're vegan.
So whatever you had, so you didn't have ham and cheese pinwheels.
No, and what am I supposed to do with a tray of lamb?
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Exactly, yeah.
I mean, thank you for the Mediterranean seasoned lamb, the kebabs, but there's nothing I can do with it.
Yeah, that was for others.
But the side point, I brought everyone together because it's very important that the board and the people operating the business all have the same direction, understanding, and goals, right? That end mission.
Right.
And if you don't have that alignment, something's off.
Right.
So we meet once every 2 months to make sure that we have that alignment in place. Okay. Now, from there, we came to some sort of, ideas and target items that we wanted to kind of push forward. And we want to share these target items, what we're planning to do with TARTLE, with everyone out here that listens to the podcast. Because it's important, because this is a tool designed for the public. They need to understand from its transparent nature how this tool is going to affect them and the changes we're making over here, our small group, to affect the greater community of users that we have on the marketplace. So what we want to talk about now is the very first set of integrations. Our number one thing that we're focusing on is not only one user signups, okay? More people on the system is fantastic, because in our collective power, the more people that use it, the more value we create for ourselves.
And for others.
Right.
Like a company is going to come to it, and if 10 million people in Miami, Florida,
correct,
are on this network, then that company is going to say, I want to purchase some of that data.
that is precisely correct. And if there's just, say there was just one person on the system,
Right.
that data has a value to it.
Right.
But now when you've added another person to that system,
Right.
there is a comparative analytic between these two people. So not only is it the data of one person and one person, but there's also the value of the comparative analytics that sit inside that relationship. So now you've actually doubled or tripled or asymmetrically grown the value for a positive benefit for every time there's a user sign up.
Right. So it's like, I watch Joe Rogan, you watch some Joe Rogan, everybody wears flannel shirts, martial arts.
Yeah.
So now we can start seeing, if you look at my data packets and then you compare to other Joe Rogan users,
Yeah.
they would all create some similarity.
They would have that similarity, right? And you see that through that comparative analytic.
Right.
And so the point is, as we all continue to join on the marketplace, and if we have that target initiative of getting that user sign up, educating people on that tool, that's going to increase the value for every single person. And every time someone who's on the system already shares with other people around them in their local sector, saying, hey, did you know this was available? That increases the value for you yourself and all those people.
That's awesome.
It's that all those different relationships coming together.
So it actually, the more people that are on, so if they share it with their friends or family, it's actually helping them with the value of their data.
That's precisely correct. So that call to action, I would say, for the users we currently have,
Right.
share that with everyone around you. Teach them about it. Help educate them on what this tool does, because it's going to increase the value, the sovereignty, the ownership that we all deserve.
Yeah, I love that.
On a much larger scale than you ever thought was possible.
That's cool. So
that was our first main target item.
Oh, okay, cool. And I know I play a part in the marketing side, so we're going to have another podcast on that. I think we should probably do a podcast on the marketing. So let's move along on your agenda.
Yeah, and so in the second major part of the agenda that we want to focus on are the integrations. We think it's very important that there should be simplicity in how people actually build the assets, so these data packets on the exchange, right, on the marketplace. So your ability to go on and log into existing accounts you already have online, all this information that is private to you, secure within your login, whether it be Facebook or 23andMe, it doesn't matter what it is.
Right.
Those integrations with the marketplace then allow you to go in and take the pieces of information that these other companies have and move it within your own control to your TARTLE account. And then from there, you can monetize that data. So right now you have all this information parked on other people's businesses, right? Information that you truthfully own and that you've created. So now what we're doing is working on integrations to make it simple for people to just log into those accounts, and we pull that information down for you, keep it encrypted, and it's in your TARTLE profile. And now you have all these new data assets that you can now sell.
I love that.
So that simplicity of that asset creation is what we're working on. And that will happen with those marketplace integrations. And we would hope that you come in and you tell us, wow, have you considered looking at this integration? Or I use this system or platform a lot. Would you mind tying that in? And we'd be happy to listen and, help out, our user base with whatever those requests are. But those are our two targets right now, and that was the main part of our focus.
And when you look at requests,
yeah,
because you have people think of that word, and like I'm thinking of like there's these evil companies in asking for these evil requests to go against my privacy.
Yeah.
How does TARTLE field the environmental impact, the consumer impact, the moralistic impact on those requests?
That's really interesting. So it's like, how far does the data actually reach when it's getting used, right? So if someone bought information on a group of people and like they buy plastic water bottles,
right? What
is that request for that information? How does that actually affect in the full scale of the ecosystem, of our environment? How does their use and understanding actually affect pulling bottles of water or plastic out of the ocean? We don't know right now.
Right.
But we are going to know, because we're going to know what that use is, what that demand looks like, where we're having that waste. And if we can understand our choices, we can curtail those choices or change them or afford ourselves better options outside of what we currently have. But right now, we don't have the ability to focus and think about it because we have all this information across the internet going in 1,000 different directions.
Right.
But we haven't found a place where we can take all those disparate sources, bring them together into one facility where you can control and own and sell and monetize that data. And then from that, have those nice, neatly packaged pieces of information then available for people willing to do that research to solve these difficult problems for us be easily accessed. And for now, the first time, we've brought this global marketplace together that affords us the opportunity to do so.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting because you don't know that unless the data is put out there. Like that one video that went viral, taking that straw out of that turtle's nose.
Correct.
Where they had to take a piece of pliers to pull it out of his nose, and he's all bleeding and stuff like that. That sea turtle. That video alone solved the whole straw issue.
It solved the straw issue.
So now you can't find a straw anywhere.
But the thing is, we had to wait. We had to wait for a video of someone who's been afflicted, whether it be a human being or a creature or a microorganism on this planet. We have to wait reactively to fix these problems. And only until it's gotten to such a point where it gets like out of hand. But if we can be proactive with our information, what we already know,
right,
what we already see that's right in front of us, and we just ask people, what are you seeing? What do you know? What do you think? What are you doing? That will be a monumental difference because now we're going to be proactive. You save lives. You save the planet. You save resources. The world changes. Our decision-making changes. How we interact as a society will change at that point.
So you're not looking at lagging indicators. You're looking at leading and then being proactive instead of reactive.
Right, because we all are the leading indicators. But all these companies create lagging indicators of us because they don't have a very good an efficient means.
They're getting after you went to the website.
They're getting it after
you
the
tripped
fact.
the pixel.
Yeah, it's not. Let's not wait till we hit the Facebook or the Snapchat pixel, right?
Right.
Or the cookie or all that other crap.
Right.
Get all that out of the way. I'm gonna go right to the person and find out right now, rather than sit around and wait and hope that they go through this pattern of events that I've already predetermined has to be the pattern for me to collect that info. Wrong. Why don't you just let both parties decide in an organic marketplace for them to come in and be like, that's what we should be doing.
Well, I think it would be like beneficial to any company because, like, let's say Disney Plus. This
Disney.
thing, and that huge thing just hit, and everybody's signing up for Disney Plus. Major hit, amongst consumers. Disney could have turned around and polled people for pricing. Should I be at $4.95? Should I be at $7.95? Should I be at $11.95? $14.95?
I'm glad you brought that up because I was just down in Disney Springs.
Mm-hmm.
And Disney Analytics, they have people that stand in the park and randomly choose individuals throughout the day and try to get them to stand there for 5 minutes to answer questions on an iPad. I went and polled the researchers doing the polling.
That's awesome.
Okay? You know what they told me? Over 60% of people don't even want to talk to them.
Well, of course.
And then, hold on a second, because they don't think they have an incentive to stand there and answer questions to these people. And then the 40% that do answer are typically people that are of a good, happy nature, people that are already having a good time. So now you've missed the 60% or 60+%
of the ones that you actually really need to talk to.
Those are the ones you really need to talk to.
Yeah, exactly.
And then from that, because you did a random poll, so I'm randomly choosing, and through the random, I have a 60-40 draw.
Right.
Well, what about the rest of the population? Your odds are even worse than the 60-40. Your response rate is probably like a 95% people don't even want to talk to you.
That makes sense. It's almost like if you go to Chili's, and they have that little machine now that you can cash out of, and then they ask you those surveys right then and there.
Right.
So it's kind of getting more of like the meal right in the moment.
Right in the moment, right? So you got to capture that emotional charge. Well, guess what? Wouldn't it be great if Disney Analytics could go on the TARTLE platform and ask all the people thinking about going to the park, the people in the park, and the people that have left the park,
right,
how they're feeling, what they're doing, and what they want to do or what they want to say. Maybe there's too many Italian restaurants.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Maybe there's not enough Disney feel. You don't know these things, but it's missed. And they have these people trying to collect the analytics, and it's just, frankly, it's inefficient. No offense to them. They love their job, and it's a very difficult thing to do, stand there with a clipboard. But this is beyond that, though. We can do more.
Yeah, I love that. And so third item on the agenda.
The third item on the agenda is that, so we had talked about building the user base. The second one is our marketplace integrations, making it more simple for people to sign up. And the third function we want to look at is we want to look at research. We want to look at our own personal research, and TARTLE is thinking about moving into an academic research arm where we can actually go and cite information and purchase data from people and have academics in-house with us to then go and try and solve those problems in-house. Because if other companies aren't coming out and doing it quick enough, we know that our tool can solve these problems that quickly. So we might as well, I don't know how I would do it, but use your own supply at that point. You know what I mean? And then go and we would purchase that data from the users and then answer these questions to the best of our ability with the world's top academics in place. And those are our three target items that we want to look at. And that's where we're moving and headed forward, right? So build the user base, make it simpler for people to aggregate and build those data assets. And then from that, expand upon research, because we got a lot of problems that we have to solve. And those are our 3 focus target items that we're working on right now.
That's awesome. Well, cool. Well, I hope if anything happens in 2020 for TARTLE, and the vision that you have for next year, because that's just around the corner, what is your hopes for TARTLE in 2020?
In 2020, I want 1 billion users. Because, and I know that sounds totally absurd, I want 1/7 of the world population using the system, because there's that many people that have cell phones, smartphones.
Right.
They deserve financial opportunity. They deserve sovereignty over the things that they create. And every single one of these problems, even if I'm sitting here in the United States, is going to affect someone in another country. Just because I don't see it doesn't mean it's not touching them.
Yes.
So it's just important for me to solve those issues here, because it's going to have those dramatic effects all across the globe.
I love that. Well, cool. Well, thanks, Alex. I appreciate it.
Jason, thank you.
Thank you for listening to TARTLEcast with your hosts Alexander McCaig and Jason Rigby, where humanity steps into the future and source data defines the path. What's your data worth?